Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. It's Holy Bull Saturday at Gulfstream Park. The return of two-year-old champ Fierceness in the main event, but it's still a pretty stacked card other than the Holy Bull, with race number 10, the Grade 3 forward gallop for three-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile. Let's take a peek at this field. And again, these fillies are still trying to sort themselves out and prove they have what it takes to maybe take that first step on the road to the Kentucky Oaks. The 7, Whit Waterstrand, is a graded stakes winner, but that graded stakes win, the Mazarine, came around 2 turns over Tapeta. Now she cuts back and switches to dirt.
Exactly. We'll see how she handles the surface switch because her first three starts were all on the all-weather surface up at Woodbine, but she ran well in all of those races. She's talented. Is she a dirt horse?
We'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector. I was a little surprised to see the blue bar that says it favors front runners because the 2 Fiona's Magic's quick, the 4 R Harper Rose is quick. I could see those two setting at least a legitimate pace.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I thought this pace had a chance to get a little bit contested up front. I do think the 7 could be forward in this race. She's been pretty handy, Dan, but she's got plenty of speed if they want to use it.
Kissed by an Angel is the number 1. She's a stakes winner against Restricted Company at Laurel Park, although she could not have had an easier trip in that Maryland juvenile filly, just going to the lead and walking the dog up front. It was a different situation last time out at Gulfstream in the Glitter Woman, where she was just completely outrun behind a very fast pace over a sloppy track. And to her credit, she comes on and runs for third.
Yeah, going to get off the inside here through the stretch. And she's just kind of grinding here, I thought, Dan. She's going to pick up some pieces late in this race. It's the second start in a row where she got off to a really poor start. She cannot afford that, I don't think, against this field. And then, you have those 2 wins. If you go back before those last 2 starts, Dan, do either of those make her good enough to beat this field? I wasn't sure.
Fiona's Magic is very lightly raced with upside, and she's coming into this race in exceptional form, having won 2 in a row, including this first level allowance at Gulfstream back in early December. And she got right up close to the pace in this race. That is her style, and she keeps on going in the stretch to win with a 72 buyer, that coming on the heels of an 80 buyer win in a maiden race. I didn't think too much of this field that she beat, but I liked the way how she did it.
I won't argue with any of that. I didn't love this field. She looks fine winning this race, even if it's a buyer regression off of her maiden win, which was also, I guess, a good performance, but it didn't blow me away, Dan. She's stepping up in class here. It's not a huge step up in class, so I don't know how good some of these horses to the outside are, but I still thought she had to take a step forward.
The 3 Cheat Chi has some credentials and might be somewhat interesting here in a price. She's a stakes winner at Remington Park. She's a stakes winner against Florida Breds at Gulfstream, and she ran pretty well in her last sprint race, 2 starts back at Tampa Bay. Now, last time out, they ran her in the Cash Run. It was a 1-turn mile race, and maybe that distance was just a little bit too far. I like her cutting back, and maybe she gets the setup.
Yeah, I like her cutting back too. I mean, I can't say, and even if you want to give her the excuse that the mile maybe was just too far and a little bit too tough last time, I guess that's fine. I can't say that I just love the way that her buyers are regressing every time they send her out there and step her up in class.
R. Harper Rose, the number 4, won her first 3 starts in blowout fashion. That made her the odds-on favorite in this race. Her final start as a 2-year-old, the My Dear Girl for Florida Breds, going a mile and a 16th, and she carved out a legitimate pace on the inside. She just wasn't as good as the horse that beat her. She's easily second best. I think turning back is probably what she wants, and being outside speed allows the jock to give her plenty of options.
Agreed. I could use this horse easily, Dan. I think she will show speed in here. She seemed like a vulnerable favorite last time, stretching out around 2 turns. And as it turns out, she was. I don't think she wanted to go that far. Her prior 3 starts are all sprinting, and they're all easy wins.
I think the 5 Nikitas is a very tough call for Chad Brown and Arad Ortiz. I really wasn't impressed with her first several starts in New York. And here's her most recent race, 7/8 of a mile at Aqueduct. I give her some credit for reeling in this shorter priced horse on the lead, but this shorter priced horse on the lead is going to help her out by bouncing herself off the rail for some reason. And it still takes Nikitas the whole length of the stretch to get her.
Hey, all those things are true. I still like this performance, Dan. I just like how determined she is to come get this horse. And I also like the fact that if you pull the full replay, you'll see her early on in this race up the back. She sort of run up on a horse. She's steady. She loses position. She moves to the outside, and she just keeps coming. That was a really long run that she put in. So I don't know. I thought she ran pretty well in there. Like you, I don't know. I'm not blown away by her. I'm not sure how good she is, but I think she's interested in this race.
I've always liked the 6 scalable. I thought her debut was a little bit better than it looked, just kind of wide in a race where maybe it seemed like she needed a bit of fitness. I liked her in the Chandelier and better 2 starts back, and I think she got wired there by Shot to Loss. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies was too tough. Todd finally found a maiden spot, and what a maiden spot this was against only 3 others going a 1-turn mile, scalable stalk, scalable pounces, scalable wins easily. Now she turns back to 7. I do wonder if maybe longer distances will be her forte down the road, but I think she's coming into this race just fine.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, yeah, you feel like just based on her pedigree that maybe a little longer will be better, but this is a great spot for them to turn her back a little bit, and I won't argue with that. I didn't, love her as a 2-year-old. I thought she ran fine in those 2 tougher stakes races, but they didn't really do a lot for me, and I don't know how much credit I want to give her for that one, Dan. She was supposed to win. She did win. I don't know. Maybe she's the horse to beat in her. I don't think I'd take too short a price.
Completing the field is the graded stakes winner in Canada, the number 7, Witwatersrand. Here's the win in the Mazarine, and I like the way she did it. Going 2 turns, she's in behind horses, just cruising and patiently waiting for a seam. Patrick Husbands is going to ease her off of the inside, and once she gets some clear air, boom, she's going to blow on past this leader and win very, very nicely with a respectable Beyer speed figure. Mike, as you mentioned in the open, it's all about whether she handles the dirt, but this is a likable victory.
Yeah, I mean, she got a great trip in this race, but she was locked and loaded in the pocket there all the way around the track. And once she got clear, she blasted that field. I really liked that performance. I really liked her debut as well, sprinting. That was a race where she showed her greenness, but she still did a lot of good things to win that race too. I just think she's talented, Dan. I guess, have to wait and see what kind of price she is. I don't think I'd want to go too short on her, making her dirt debut, but I feel like if she handles dirt, she might be better than these horses.
Plus, the Timeform US Pace Projector puts her in a prime spot. If she could show off the tactical speed that she displayed at Woodbine, they have her sitting 3rd right off the 2 speeds. Let's take a look at our top picks for the grade 3 forward gal. I have a lot of respect for your top pick. I'd have to use her. You have my second pick, my top pick second. That's Nikitas. I have a feeling that maybe she's just maturing. It took her a while.
Yeah, maybe. She had some things go her way last time, but I liked her maiden win last time, Nikita. So I like her in here. I respect her. Again, I'm just going to wait and see what kind of price this 7 winds up at in here. And if it's a fair one, I'm betting her because I think she just might be better than these horses, Dan. I'm really against the 6 in this race.
Mike's going 7, 5, 6, and 4. I'm going 5, 7, 2, and 6. It's the grade 3 forward gal on Holy Bull Saturday at Gulfstream. Good luck.